My husband left me for predetermining the gender of our baby. I have so many questions already. Okay, to start, me, 27 female, and my husband, 28 male, have been married for 4 years. His parents, his mother specifically, and I have never had any problems, but we've never quite meshed or seen eye to eye. We've always got along and we've been civil. Our future family has been talking for years. My husband will be the last of his siblings to have children. All of his siblings have at least one. It's been a running joke in the family that if our first happens to be a girl, she won't be accepted because everyone else had a boy for a firstborn. The joke has never sat quite right with me, but I've laughed it off because I don't want to start anything, and maybe I'm just being sensitive. Fast forward to a few months ago when we started trying. It took about 3 months for me to get pregnant. We tracked my cycle and had scheduled intimacy for the best chance. Infertility runs in my family, and my hubby and I agreed on a big family, so I've been worried about starting a family so late in the game. When I did get pregnant, we were overjoyed. We had all the typical couple conversations that come with having a baby, the excitement, the names, nursery themes, gender predictions, etc. He talked about wanting a son first so he could be the big, strong leader for all his younger siblings and carry on the family name. A very big deal to him that was instilled by his parents. I expressed my desire to have a little girl that I could dress up and match with. Truly the only reason I would want a baby girl if I were to want kids. Like, girl, you think we're not gonna like have matching hairdos and cute little outfits? Don't get excited, guys. I don't want children. I'm so sorry. But how cute would we be? It became a playful banter. He'd refer to the baby as a son, and I would call the baby our daughter. About a week before our gender scan, I searched up all the old wives' tales and made us a chart that we could fill out together to see who, hypothetically, would win our little bet. It included the ring test, Chinese horoscope, heartbeat, cravings, etc. The results ended up being about 50-50 in the end, which made us even more excited to find out for certain at our scan. The following week, we went to our appointment and discovered that our baby was a girl. Confetti, pink confetti. It's like I just did your gender reveal party. You're welcome. We were both extremely excited. Hubby was disappointed to lose, but told me that he was overjoyed to be raising a daughter by my side. That night, we called our families to share the news. After calling his family, his mother asked to speak to him privately. I went to bed alone as their conversation carried on for well over an hour. The following morning, I woke up alone. There was a note on my husband's nightstand explaining that someone would be by the house to pick up his belongings later that evening. What? What's happening? I immediately tried to call him only to realize he'd blocked my number. I then tried his mom. His mother picked up on the first ring. Before I had the chance to get a word in, she started chewing me out, calling me a manipulative B-word. I asked her what I had done, and she told me I'd ruined her son's reputation with my inexcusable behaviors and tendencies. I let her finish her rant before kindly asking her what the F she was talking about. She told me the divorce papers were already written up and I wouldn't have the chance to tear apart the family like I had been intending to do all this time. I'm not understanding what's happening here. I again, slightly less kind this time, asked her what the F she was talking about. To which she told me my husband would be leaving me because our child is a girl. But actually, what the fuck? I was gobsmacked. Same. I explained to her that it takes two to tango and there's no way to truly decide the gender of the baby. And if her and her son had a problem with the gender, it was his fault as it's his chromosome that determines the gender. But she had proof that I had handpicked to have a girl. Like I said before, we used a calendar to determine which days would be best for intimacy. Well, mother-in-law accused me of forcing him to do it with me on the specific day which the Chinese horoscope would point to the girl. This cannot actually be happening right now. Mom is cuckoo bonkers. She also interrogated me on the sex position we used to conceive the baby, which I gave her a piece of my mind and told her that it was none of her business, but she smugly informed me my husband had already told her, and the position we used makes it 60% more likely to have a girl that way. There's just so much cuckoo bonkers happening. If anyone's currently trying for a girl, specifically doing cowgirl sometimes in the, oh, hey now. What? Sometime in the middle of February, you should do the trick every time, apparently. Okay. I personally will be avoiding doing that. She finished off by telling me that my clear preference for my family name was disgusting, and she was glad to finally be rid of me and my manipulative ways before hanging up. I've had no contact with my husband since. It's been over a month? He's blocked me on everything. I can't help but feel that this hasn't all been his choice. But then again, he's a grown-ass adult, so I can't imagine his mother controlling him like that. I've been staying with my sister since it all went down. She says I can stay as long as I need, but I'm thinking I want to get my own place, maybe even a few states away. What should I do? Should I pack up and move? Should I continue to try and contact my husband? Any advice would be appreciated. Screw that guy. I can't even comprehend. I cannot wrap my head around that he left like that, and because of this reason. There's no way that it cannot be real. I'm stunned. Update number 1 came 2 days later. I should have mentioned originally that I had a gut feeling to record the call with my mother-in-law, so I have all of that on hand if it's needed in the future. I'm planning to try catching my husband on his way out of work sometime next week. I would like to hear his side of the story. I've decided, however, that if there is any saving in our relationship, I will be changing my last name back to my maiden name, and our daughter will be taking my last name, or at the very least, have a hyphenated name. Call me feminist or whatnot, but it will be non-negotiable. I'll also be requiring many boundaries between me and his brother, and she will not be in my child's life until she can find it in her to apologize to me sincerely and change her attitude towards us. Okay, we got more updates, but I need a sip of water. Honestly, I need a sip of something else, but I have to work today. Cheers. Y'all. Oh my God, you totally saw that happen. Look at this. Can't take me anywhere. Update number 2. I'm still in shock and I haven't been able to collect my thoughts. Let's just blame it on the pregnancy brain and pretend that my life isn't falling apart before my own eyes. Okay, so not a positive update. I was able to catch my husband as he was leaving work one night and got his side of the story out of him like I had hoped. As suspected, he admitted that he was excited for a baby girl, and after speaking to his mom, she forced him to leave and block her. How does your mother force you as a grown adult to do all that? Here's the solution. You look at her and you say, no. His mother already had the divorce papers ready to go. I tried to tell him that we could fix this. We could raise our daughter together away from his mother. I know I sound effed in the head and naive for this, but I grew up in a household without a father figure, and I was hopeful my daughter could have a significant home life experience than what I had. Not to discredit my mother. She's a badass woman, and I hope I can be half of the woman she is for my daughter one day. Anyways, my husband had none of it. He said that he realized how conniving and manipulative and abusive I had been throughout our entire relationship, and he did want to actually go through with the divorce. He said he'd have no problem giving me full custody of, quote, the thing that's growing inside of me. That makes me want to throw up. That's when I lost all hope. F him, I have no problem leaving a man who's so easily brainwashed by his mother like that. I'll raise this baby alone. Yes, you will, Mama. That's bad enough, but here's the real icing on the cake. I received a phone call from my soon-to-be ex-husband's brother's wife. We've always been quite close, and she's been my saving grace throughout my pregnancy, giving me all the tips for nausea, etc. She has 3 of her own, 2 boys and a girl. Anyways, she informed me over the phone that she overheard a conversation at weekly Sunday dinner that mother-in-law and husband are trying to blindside me in court and take full custody. I don't understand what's happening. I was livid, full on seeing red. I called my mother-in-law straight away and demanded to speak to my husband. All he had to say for himself was that he realized he didn't want any of his offspring to be raised by such a manipulative freak. And even though he doesn't actually want her, he's sure that he can grow to love her again. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I know I have a good case for myself, but I'm effing terrified that they will win this battle and take everything from me. Even if custody is split 50-50, I'll have no control over the lies they're guaranteed to feed her. We have an edit to this, adding that my brother-in-law and his wife are planning on leaving the family dynamic after seeing the way that I have been treated. They have a daughter of their own, and while she's been accepted as she wasn't the firstborn, they're very uncomfortable with the misogyny within the family. Brother-in-law is the firstborn, and I think the what ifs are effing with his head. All right, so the husband apparently found this post, left a comment, but it has been deleted on Reddit. However, there's a transcript of the comment, and you know I'm gonna read it. And there's a lot of swear words. I can see a lot of censoring. All right, I am terrible husband. Here we go. What the F is wrong with you, Aspen? I loved you and I loved our daughter. You paint me out to be such an effing villain, and none of these pea-brain people on the internet can see through them lies. Manipulation at its finest. You were such an effing B our whole GD lie of a relationship when we were trying to get pregnant. Everything was about you. I can't believe it took me so long to see every single sign. You were so effing obsessive over your stupid calendar, and we hardly ever used it. You always say you aren't in the mood, or we did it yesterday, I'm too tired, we can skip a day. It was never about me or my feelings. And then when you actually got pregnant, it became even more about you. I'm not eating eggs anymore. They make me sick. I don't want to go to Sunday dinner. I'm not up to it tonight. Let's not get sushi for dinner because it's bad for the baby. All reasonable things. I was so effing nice to you, Aspen. I literally doted on you like an effing Prince Charming, and you never even recognized me. I can't believe you string me along all these years. F you and F the fetus. Bro, no wonder your comment got deleted. I'm sick of your games. I can't effing believe I find out about this post on a podcast my girlfriend listens to. Oh! Girlfriend, he has a girlfriend. You betray me one effing month until you lose it all like I did. See you in court, B-word. She posted this on a subreddit that was for a podcast, and the podcast must have read it. Mini update. I've been in contact with my lawyer about how best to proceed, and for legal reasons, I'm not allowed to give you guys any more information at this point in time, but I've seen all your messages and I'm truly so grateful for all the advice and care being sent our way. There was no official update, but in October of 2022, she posted this in a divorce group, looking for some advice from some fellow divorced moms. I'm currently going through an extremely messy divorce. I'm 28 and almost 35 weeks pregnant with our first baby. I'd like to have more kids in the future, a happy, healthy family, but I can't imagine myself getting into another serious relationship, especially having children with someone else after the stuff my soon-to-be ex blindsided me with after I got pregnant. My whole life was ripped away from me and it feels like I have been living a lie. Has anyone else been through this? I could really use some reassurance and advice right now. And I lied to you. We do have an update. It's very mini, but we do have one. First off, I'm so happy. I won the court case. It was a long and draining road, and I won't go into a ton of detail for privacy and legal reasons. But it was all thanks to Reddit. Someone connected me to a great lawyer and everything worked out exactly the way I needed to. I owe it all to you guys. Thank you so much. And second, I gave birth to my sweet baby girl just a few short weeks ago. She is perfect and everything I needed. Babies heal the soul more than you could ever imagine. I couldn't have done it without my sister cheering me on through everything. Now, there was 2 top comments about her mother-in-law and husband that she answered on this update. Comment 1, can you spill the tea on how your mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, reacted when you won your case? Answer, her reaction was pathetic, to say the least. She sobbed uncontrollably and called me every insult she could possibly think of as I left. It gave me secondhand embarrassment, to say the least. The judge wasn't taking any of her BS from the second our case started. Very satisfying, to say the least, LOL. And comment 2, does your husband have 50-50 rights? Do you have full custody? And is he even allowed to visit her at all without being supervised? I have full custody. He has no rights to her whatsoever. What a whirlwind that was. Truly, I don't even know what you would title it otherwise, because that's exactly what happened. Except it should be not because of predetermining the gender, but because of my cuckoo bonkers mother-in-law. I'm not going to put that in the title. I don't think anyone's clicking on a video that says cuckoo bonkers. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this one. That was a ride, okay? I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy. Stay sassy. Bye.